All right. Well, it's another tutorial Tuesday. I didn't do one last week because the episode that I was in for the Gold Squadron podcast was being premiered, and I decided to stick to that. But today we're back on track to doing another tutorial, and we're going to go over glazing. But before I start, make sure you check out my Instagram. You can find me on Minis by Meyer on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook, Minis by Meyer, and Twitch, Minis by Meyer, as well as YouTube. So all those are places that you can find me, and I do have all my tutorials up there on YouTube stored. What is this, my fifth one I've done now? Tutorial Tuesday, fourth or fifth or something. So I'm moving through just some basic topics and so forth. But tonight we're going to be talking about glaze and glazing and so forth. And glaze is one of those things that is kind of a tough thing to master, but once you get it, like all things, you get it. And it's very useful tool that I like to use, and I enjoy using it because it's become very, very helpful in some of the stuff that I do. I like the effects that it gives. You can make some really nice transitions with it. You know, it's a nice adjustment away from actually, you can actually make it look airbrush, if you will, to some extent. If you do it now, I'm not that good with my glazing, but I'm getting there. I've done some glazing both on. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. I've done some glazing, and it came out pretty good, but it doesn't compare to some of the airbrushing that I've done. But will I get there? Yeah, I will, but it's going to take time. So to do glazing, you just need, first of all, you got your miniature, and we're going to be working on this D&D miniature that I have. I'm not going to paint the whole thing on the stream. I'm just going to show you how I do glazing. The other thing you need is water. You need any clean water, or your paint water is fine, and then your paint. So I've got here four color. I've got Phalanx yellow, Citadel. I've got Citadel Strachan green. I've got Mornfang brown from Citadel, and then I've also got Administratum gray from Citadel. So, what's up, Argo? What the? Wolf Concepts, welcome. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of go through this and do the glazing, and kind of just work on, first of all, how to do it, and then we're going to start. It's just a process that you've got to see. I can tell you, but you've got to see how to do it as well. The main thing I can only tell you is just have patience with glazing. That is the one thing that is key to glazing. So first off, what we're going to do is going to start off with the Mornfang brown, and we're going to get started with that. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and give my pot a little shake, get it paint mixed up a little bit, and get some of that on there. You don't need a lot of paint. Just put a little bit on the palette here, and then we're going to get our water. Go ahead and get our water. Plenty of water. You need lots of water. You do want the paint to be very runny. Okay? Now, I've watched a lot of tutorials on glazing, and I'll be honest with you, even Kenny Boucher does not explain it the way that I learned from Treverian, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'll give credit where it's due, and he's the one I learned this from. And he made it so much simpler for me. Even Kenny over at what's the name of this? Anyway, I couldn't get it from him either. So he had some good principles, but I don't know. It's just glazing is weird to some extent, and so forth. But yeah, so here you go. I've got it mixed up. You can see it's very, very runny. Okay, and this is part of the process. Okay, now you could just take it right on here and just go right into it, just start painting. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, but that's not glazing. Okay, and what we're going to do is going to go ahead and pull that off. You can do glazing with any color. Now, I've not tried it with metallics. I don't think it'll work. But literally, I've done glazing even with black. It's pretty cool how it works. Okay, so that's not what you want to do. You do not want to just put the paint on and just go to it. Glazing is small amounts of paint at a time. So first thing you do, get some paint on your brush, just like that. Okay? Dip it down on the side of your towel, and you'll have a little bit on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and paint it on here. And you're going to see a little bit on there. And you could probably not see it on the camera, but it's there. I'm just painting the back of her shirt with the glaze color. Okay? Now glaze tends to dry very quickly. Okay? There's not a lot of paint on my brush, but already I got a little bit of brown right here. Okay? So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. Okay? Process is simple, but you gotta be patient. Okay? Let it completely dry. I'm gonna blow on it. Okay, so it's dry now. Okay? You do not want that much paint on here. Okay, go ahead and put some more on. Already building up. You're slowly building up the color. Okay? As you can see, it's already brown. Right there in the back. Okay? We're going to get it darker. And I'm always taking the paint off on the towel because it's going to soak it up. Now it needs to dry. And you'll mess up your glaze if it's not dry completely. What you'll do is you'll pull the paint away and you'll have like what looks like a coffee stain. So you want to let it dry completely. Okay? So I'm going to move to, let's just go ahead and paint the sleeves the brown color. You just got to be patient with the color. Now, why would somebody want to glaze? Okay? Well, sometimes you have colors that you want to show a transition in. You know, whether it be a mask or flames or maybe on a staff, you need the colors to transition from one color to another. And rather than layering, this provides you with a very soft way of gradually changing the color ever so subtly. And then if you screw up, you can go back over with your other color and glaze that back on and get it all blended in. It works wonderfully. But the thing is, I'm going to say it again, patience. That's the key. And getting the paint off the brush. Go ahead and put it on there again. Already looking darker. Look at that. Great. It's already dark. Okay? Really a nice darker brown. Very nice soft look to it. Okay? I like it. So I'm going to hit this one again. In effect, you're doing the same thing probably 3-4 times. But the results are stunning. The stuff you can do with glazing. It's second to none, man. It's I shouldn't say second to none because airbrush it does a lot of things that glazing does, but that transition of colors in a small area that you just can't get to with an airbrush, at least I can't with my skill set. Guess what? I'm gonna whip out the glazing technique, and I'm gonna get it. So I'll show you some glazing I did on some other minis of where I used it, and show you how successful it was for me. It will be watery to some extent, but that's okay. So that's the brown right now. It's just a very light brown. We're going to come back to the brown in a minute. Okay? But we're going to jump over to the yellow. We want to see how the yellow looks in a glaze. It's really hard because it's bright on a white surface. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have to do a little more work with it. Okay. This is Flanks yellow. We're going to do the hair, okay? A lot of water. Repeating the process. Lots of water. Yep. Very easy. I'm going to put a little more in there. Now, I'll explain what glazing is in just a minute for everybody that doesn't know. Okay? But first, we want to try to do blonde hair on this. Okay? Now, I say blonde, but this is going to be more yellow. All right, so this has got a lot of paint on it. Okay? Take that off. We want it off. Okay. So now we have a little bit on there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reverse the brown with a green. Okay? Here in a few minutes. That yellow came out pretty bright. Mostly water and pigment. It's pretty nice. All right, it looks pretty good there. We'll do another coat of the yellow in a minute. So what I'm going to also do is I'm going to take some of the green. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the lower half in a green. So show you how you can transition colors. It's pretty cool. All right, and this is Strachan green. You can, in effect, you can paint an entire mini using glazes. It's going to take you a lot longer than it would, but I've seen some pretty miraculous results with it. You can mix the paints if you want to. That doesn't matter. It's all paint. So, all right. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to try to transition color here on the lower half of the blouse. Okay, on the lower half of the blouse that she has. I say blouse? Yeah, her shirt. So we're going to go ahead and use. It's got a lot of paint on it. We don't need that much. So the color has to work a little bit harder to do what it needs to do and make itself known when it's being placed over another color. Okay. So now I'm going to let that sit. You can see it there a little bit, the green on there. Okay. Now we're going to come back to the yellow. We're going to make it brighter. You could do this with white. Yep, there you go. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab the gray while that green is still drying on the shirt. We're going to get the gray out. And this is, what did I say it was? Administratum gray. Citadel brand. Again, we're going to water it down. We're going to do the lower half of the cloak in the gray. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of the gray. Still too much? You gotta understand your brush is thirsty. It wants paint. It wants fluid. Okay, so I'm painting this a gray color. Can't even see the gray. It doesn't even show up. It's there though. Slowly but surely. The main thing with this is, like I said in the beginning, is patience. That's it. Just patience. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going back to the green now. Okay, again, brush is thirsty. It wants lots to drink all that paint up. So there's the green. It's starting to show up now. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is while that is still drying, I'm going to grab the brown, mix that up, dry it off, and I'm going to go back over towards where the green is, and I'm creating a transition of color. Okay? So now I have the green to the brown, green to the brown. Probably can barely see it, but it's there. It's in the back, okay? Let's go ahead and look at doing the gray again. Again, these dry fairly quickly, so that's a good thing. So it's going to take a couple of coats of the gray. I can already tell it's there, but it's having to work hard to make itself known. Already, it's a different color. This is different than that. You might not be able to tell on camera, but this is a different color than that already. So you can already see how soft the tone is. It's so soft. So we're going to go ahead and do another brown, but I'm only going to pay attention to the top. Have a little more color at the top. Okay. That's it. So I got top. Now we're going to do the green. Okay. So now we have a transition of brown to green, brown to green. So we're going to go ahead and do the yellow again. Every time you notice I'm dabbing my brush off to get most of the paint off. So all I'm doing is using a very damp brush with paint, pigment, and water in. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add green into the hair. We're going to transition the hair to a green color. Oh, it's still wet. Forgot. Sorry. So let's go ahead and do the gray again. We should see it this time around. See a little better. Yep, there she is. Yep, much better. Yeah, it's more noticeable. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go back to the green now. We're going to go ahead and just do some green in her hair. Then after that, I will show you how I have used it on some of the work that I've done. Okay, go ahead and do this side again. All right. So there's what we've completed thus far. And as you can see, bring this in real close as I can. You got a top of the blouse or shirt is brown. It transitions into a green. I have taken this from a yellow to a green, and this down here is a gray as well. So this is glazing, okay? It's a very faint glaze technique, and you continuously build up color to how you want, as dark as you want it. I mean, I can sit here keep going, and I can make them really dark and real prevalent. All you're doing is building up paint pigment. That's all you're doing. So how have I used glazing? Okay, so first off, here's one that I've done on the helmet. So if you see the helmet, I'll bring it in real close. The helmet I did with glazing technique. Okay, I can't do that with an airbrush. Okay, it's too small. That's a glaze. Okay, and that's just dark blue, light blue colors and a little bit of white. Okay, so that's one way. I like the way this thing right here came out. The face. So you see the face. So this thing will pick it up. Come on, camera. Pick that up. And let's go zoom in. There she goes. So if you see the face of this unit, the face transitions from a blue to a purple. If I can get it closer, blue to a purple. That's using a glaze to make that happen. Okay. Let's see if I have any others here that would be using that. Nothing right here in front of me, unfortunately, but yeah, so that is glazing all on its own. It's pretty simple, but it does require a lot of patience. But if you have any questions at all, you can send me a direct message through my Instagram account at Minis by Meyer. You can comment below the YouTube video that this will be saved there. It'll be saved there on YouTube under Minis by Meyer, as well as Facebook. Facebook keeps them, I think, about 6 weeks. You can also do that as well. So, but other than that, that is tonight's episode of Tutorial Tuesday, Glaze, or glazing. I hope that this was beneficial and helpful to you, and so forth. So it's like making your own contrast. It is kind of like making your own contrast, except contrast, you are using the paint and right out of the bottle. This one you are, but you're mixing it with water. You can't, I've not tried to produce a transition with contrast because it's so powerful in a paint. As far as that's concerned, you could probably dilute it with the contrast medium, but you're using a lot of paint to do that, and both of those things cost money. Well, when this you're going to use limited amount of paint, and the water you pay for, and you got that in abundance. It's relatively cheap, so it's like making your own contrast. I see what you're saying, but I think you have better transitions, better build up to color. It allows you to provide better depth. You control the depth and so forth. Again, it takes practice to get that. To get this look that I have here on the helmet, that was a continuous back and forth with the brush and the colors. So it takes a lot of tweaking. I can't do that with contrast paint. Contrast paint is good. I like it for the purposes that it's intended, but I would strongly urge you to practice um, your using glazes on plastic army men, both in the white color and so forth. So, I did use it on I did use it on this guy here. Real light fade, I don't know if you can see it, but on the back here, I use a yellow glaze on the back of his legs. Now, glazing yellow over black is tough. So, but I managed, there was about 10, 10 layers and so forth. You didn't know how to glaze till today? Well, man, I'm glad that's great. I'm glad I was able to help you. I love using it. If I see an opportunity to use it, I'm gonna do that. It's almost as fun as airbrushing. But again, patience. That is the biggest thing you have to have with it. Because sometimes, like I did here, the gray on the back here, you can barely see it. Okay, your lighter colors are going to take work to bring up. Your darker colors they don't take as much effort. But when you're painting over lighter colors, it's a little bit easier. You're painting over darker colors, it's harder for some. It really depends on what you're working with. But you can produce some amazing results with glazing. It's a technique that I highly recommend everyone get down and so forth. So, but hey, I am glad I was able to help you, Wolf Concepts. Really appreciate that. If you guys got any questions at all, please shoot me a message in my Instagram at Minis by Meyer. I really appreciate any comments or feedback or anything like that. So. Oh, okay. I'm still learning. It's hard though. My stroke things, man. I don't want to go through something like that. I can only imagine how tough it is. But look, you just stick at it, man. Keep going, and you gotta keep going, and just make sure that you got the proper support behind you. So I feel for you, buddy. That's why I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm 48 years old. And I'm not getting any younger. But this is one thing that is definitely, painting miniatures is a stress relief for me. I enjoy it so much. And being able to share it with people and help people like I just helped you it speaks volumes for me. And it's really nice to have that. So, but yeah, and follow me here on Twitch, man. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do more of these. I've got a couple other ones. Thank you for the follow, Wolf Concepts. But that's going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow I might do a stream. So I haven't been streaming that much because I've got a lot of lag issues right now with my internet. So, and it's really frustrating me. So, because I usually stream 3 times a week, and then I do two tutorial Tuesdays. So it's frustrating me that I can't just paint and chat with people. But my internet is just been frustrating me. So anyway, that aside, tomorrow I might get on and I might do a box opening from something I received from a friend at a company called Rogue Sculpts. So I'm going to do a box opening there, and we'll see what he sent me. So we'll go from there. So again, everybody, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for watching.